We continue Four Noble Truths. First, we need to recite Dukkha Nirodha Ariya Sijapali, the Noble Truth of the cessations of suffering. Can you follow me? Idam Kopana Bhikkhave Dukkha Nirodham Ariya Sijam Yodasa Yewa Tanaya Asisa Viraga Nirodha Jago Patinesago Modi Analaya Idam Kopana Bhikkhave Dukkha Nirodham Ariya Sijam Yodasa Yewa Tanaya Asisa Viraga Nirodha Jago Patinesago Modi Analaya. Recite together. Idam Kopana Bhikkhave Dukkha Nirodham Ariya Sejam Yodasa Yewa Danaya Asisa Viraga Nirodha Jago Patinesago Modi Analaya. Again. Idam Kopana Bhikkhave Dukkha Nirodham Ariya Sijam Yodasa Yewa Danaya Asisa Viraga Nirodha Jago Patinesago Modi Analaya. Translation. Now this bhikkhus is the noble truth of the cessations of suffering. It is the remainderless fading away and cessation of that very craving, the giving up and relinquishing of it, freedom from it, non-reliance on it. Again. Now this bhikkhus, the cessations of suffering, remainderless fading away, and cessations of that very craving, the giving up and relinquishing of it, freedom from it, non-reliance on it. So regarding that noble truth, Buddha said, Bhikkhus, what I'm going to teach now is the noble truth of extensions of suffering. The real truth which Ariyas, noble ones, should know. It is a complete fading away and cessation of that hunger, the craving, without remainder. It's forsaking and giving up, relinquishing, letting go, release, and abandoning of that craving. The truth of extensions of suffering is the cessations of tanha, cessations of craving, samudaya tissa, samudaya sitya. Otherwise called the truth of the origin of suffering. You practice meditation, and by virtues of vipassana knowledge, and finally you attain Ariya Mega Jnana, Ariya mega knowledge, that Tanna gets no opportunity to arise and vanish. It is like darkness being dispelled by sunlight. When meditator practiced meditation and finally he became Arahant, when the Arhata Mega Jnana appears, the craving has no chance to arise and gets extinguished entirely. With the cessation sadhana, the aggregates of mind-body process for new life cannot make their appearance and completely cease to exist. So this non-arising or this cessation of craving is called the truth of the cessations of suffering, Nirodha Sitya. Yogi cessations of tanha, yogi cessations of craving, by virtues of Arhata Mega Jnana is complete. Total extinction of craving and the noblest and highest form of extinction. So Mahasi Sayadaw said, when craving is eradicated, suffering is extinguished. Only when craving is completely eradicated, true liberation from suffering can be achieved. There are many temporary relief. Escape from suffering obtained through other means is not true liberation, but just temporary relief. Because in due course, there is recurrence of the suffering. During the intensive retreat, not too much physical exercise, and there come a lot of stiffness. So the person takes stretching the limbs to release stiffness due to bending for long. The ache is temporarily removed through stretching, only to return as tiredness. In the same way, stiffness due to prolonged sitting may be relieved by standing up or walking about, only to be replaced soon by fatigue. When the person is attacked by hunger, suffering may be relieved by partaking of some food, but the trouble will start again after a few hours. A yogi recognizes, yogi try to be aware, this body have to be, you have to feed your body breakfast and lunch and drinking water, etc. The hunger never extinguished, always needed. Illness or disease may be cured with suitable medical treatment, but another ailments are bound to arise sooner or later to start giving trouble again. In our life, difficult circumstances of living, these events may be solved by engaging in suitable business or employment, which may prove so successful and prosperous that he may come to occupy a very high position in his profession or become a very rich man. Yet, life is not sure. Ups and downs of life. With the ups and downs of life, he may fall down from the high position or become poverty-stricken. Even if the whole life has been smooth and just plain sailing, he inevitably face suffering at the time of death. You good people do meritorious deeds frequently, especially meditation. As a result of your meritorious deeds, giving charity, observing moral precepts, practicing meditation, you good people may be reborn as human beings in happy, prosperous circumstances, or he may be born as a powerful celestial king. Yet, when the wholesome effect of previous good karma become exhausted, a return to miserable existence is inevitable. If the person strives for a happy and long existence, he practices meditation, he practices jhana meditation. By means of the rupa jhana and arupa jhana of the concentration meditation, he may indeed attain rupa Brahma world and arupa Brahma world, where he may live happily for many world cycles. The wholesome merits of the jhana will become exhausted when the time comes. Then he faces the possibility of descending once again into miserable lower existence. So unless craving is completely eradicated, no form of liberation is a guarantee, true liberation. Complete and permanent liberation from all kinds of suffering is achieved only when you extinguish craving entirely. So Buddha taught, Tassa yewa tanaya asesa viraga nirodo. That eradication, that extinction of tanha, craving, is the truth of cessation of suffering. It is in accordance with the doctrine of Paticcasamuppada, dependent origination, that states that when the causative condition, such as ignorance, avijja, etc., cease, their resultant effect, sankhara, etc., also cease. So in the Anguttara Pali text, Anguttara Nikaya, it is taught, Kataminja bhikkhave dukkha nirodho ariya sacca. Bhikkhus, what is the noble truth of cessation of suffering? The answer is, through the total fading away and extensions of ignorance, which has been dealt with in connection with samudaya sacca, sankhara, karma formation are extinguished. So we have to go more detailed. Mentioned in the Anguttara Nikaya, Paticcasamuppada. Can you open your retreat manual? Paticcasamuppada, page 138. Paticcasamuppada from Anguttara Nikaya. Anuloma is in due order. It is suffering arise. The whole mass of suffering arise because of avijja, etc. And now we go to the Nirodha Sacca. Nirodha Sacca is page 139, Patiloma. Patiloma in reverse cessation order. This is Patiloma. Patiloma is the statement for Nirodha Sacca. So, no. Patiloma, can you follow me? Avijjaya dveva asesa viraga nirodha sankhara nirodha sankhara nirodha viññāna nirodha viññāna nirodha namarupa nirodha namarupa nirodha salayana nirodha salayana nirodha phasa nirodha phasa nirodha vedana nirodha vedana nirodha tanna nirodha tanna nirodha upadana nirodha upadana nirodha bhava nirodha bhava nirodha jati nirodha jati nirodha jara maranam soka parideva dukkha domana supayasa nirojanti eva metasa kevalasa dukkha khandasa nirodha hoti. Pali, recite together. Avijjaya dveva asesa viraga nirodha sankhara nirodha sankhara nirodha Vijnana Nirodha Vijnana Nirodha Nama Rupa Nirodha Da Salayana Nirodha Salayana Nirodha Pasa Nirodha Pasa Nirodha Vedana Nirodha Vedana Nirodha Dana Nirodha Dana Nirodha Upadana Nirodha Upadana Nirodha Bhava Nirodha Jati Nirodha Jati Nirodha Jara Marana Soka Paridewa Dukkha Domana Supayasa Nirojanti Eva Metasa Kevalasa Dukkha Kandasa Nirodhahoti. Translation, read together. As ignorance completely ceases, karmic evolution ceases. As karmic evolution ceases, consciousness ceases, mind matter ceases. As mind matter ceases, feeling ceases, craving ceases. The whole mass of suffering comes to an end. It is Nirodha Sitya in reverse order or cessation. So let us go. Paticca Samuppada, dependent origination, discovered by Buddha. The law of dependent origination was known to the Buddha even before his enlightenment. So in a discourse in the Digha Nikaya as well as in Sanyutta Nikaya, it is taught that every bodhisattva on the eve of their enlightenment reflect upon the law of dependent origination and practice vipassana on the 12 factors in the formula of dependent origination, Avijja, Sankhara, Vijnana, etc. As a result of that practice of vipassana on the factors of dependent origination, a bodhisattva becomes a Buddha. So the law of dependent origination was known to the Buddhas even before their enlightenment. Now the formula of dependent origination begins with avijja, ignorance. But the line of investigation made by the bodhisattva is different. The bodhisattvas go backward from aging and death. Or bodhisattva take what is an effect of the present time and then they trace its origin backwards until they reach avijja or ignorance. Now as beings, we always experience aging, jara. We are getting old day by day, hour by hour, second by second, moment by moment. For the vipassana practitioner, you can be aware, arising, aging, disappear. Arising, aging, disappear. We are getting old moment by moment. So getting old is a fact of life. It is with us all the time. One day this life will come to an end. The end of life, which is called death, is inevitable. So there is getting old and death. It is a fact, and we cannot run away from these realities. So Bodhisattva reflect in this way. Now there is aging and death. What is the condition for the aging and death? Or because of what does aging and death arise? So Bodhisattvas investigated and they found out that because there is jati, because there is because there is birth, there is aging, and then there is death. Because we were born as human beings, we get old day by day, and at the end we will die. The cause of aging and death in the ultimate analysis is jati. Nuloma Ora, you understand? Jati Pijaya Jara Marana. When there is jati, there will come Jara and Marana, aging and death. Because there is a beginning, there is the continuation, and there is the end. So jati, birth or rebirth is the cause for aging and death. Rebirth is the condition for aging and death. The Bodhisattva did not stop at that. They went backward further. They reflected, why is there jati? Why is there rebirth? Why is there rebirth? What is the condition for rebirth? What is the cause of birth? When they trying to find out the cause of birth, they found that it was what is called becoming, bhavapisya jati. Actually, becoming here means something that makes some other things become. So in fact, it means karma. Bodhisattva found that the cause of jati, the cause of birth, the cause of rebirth is karma, karma bhava. You know that there are two kinds of karma, wholesome karma and unwholesome karma. Wholesome karma gives wholesome or pleasant results, and unwholesome karma gives painful results. To be reborn as a human being is a pleasant result, so we were born as human beings because fortunately we did some wholesome karma in the past. There may be some beings who are born in hell. They are born in hell because they did some unwholesome karma in the past. Wholesome or unwholesome karma is the cause of rebirth. They are the condition for rebirth as a human beings or rebirth as any other beings. Why do beings do both wholesome and unwholesome karma? Or what is the cause of, or what is the condition for the wholesome or unwholesome karma to arise? Sometimes we do wholesome karma and sometimes we do unwholesome karma. Because we have strong desire, a desire that becomes clinging, that means it reaches the stage where it cannot let go. This strong desire is called upadana or clinging. The clinging is a condition for a wholesome or unwholesome karma to arise. For example, we want to be reborn in a better existence. We want to be reborn in the celestial realms. So we hear from somebody that celestial world is very much better than our human world. So we have attachment to the celestial world. We want to be reborn there. So we have clinging for rebirth in the celestial world. In order to be reborn in the celestial realms, we do something. Sometimes we may get good advice and correct advice from our good friend. And we may do meritorious deeds which are wholesome karma. Sometimes we may get wrong instruction, wrong advice from our bad friends, like sacrificing a lamb or some other kinds of animal. If we do sacrifice with the hope of getting rebirth in the worlds of celestial beings, we do unwholesome karma. So sometimes we do wholesome karma and sometimes we do unwholesome karma because we have this strong desire to be reborn in a better existence. Whether we do wholesome karma or unwholesome karma, there is always the results of that karma. And as you know, the results of wholesome karma is rebirth in the worlds of bliss, Sukati. That means the human worlds or the worlds of celestial beings. And the results of akusala or unwholesome karma is rebirth in the four woeful states, hell, animal kingdom, etc. So because we have this strong desire to reach the better existence, we do good karma or bad karma. So the good karma or bad karma is conditioned by desire or clinging. The bodhisattvas went further with their investigation. What is the condition for clinging? What causes clinging to arise? And they found out that ordinary desire is the condition for strong desire. That means first you have some ordinary desire for something and then you are attached to it and you cannot give it up or you cannot let it go. So when it reaches the stage, it is called upadana, clinging. Because it reaches the stage, it is called craving or attachment or desire. So not too strong craving is a condition for strong craving or clinging. Suppose you see some beautiful things at a store. First you like it is beautiful. Then you cannot get away from it and you think that you must buy it. So you buy it. At the first seeing, when you like it, that is craving, that is tanha. But later, when you cannot get away from it, and you must buy it, that is clinging, that is upadana. When it reaches the stage of clinging, it cannot let go. Both craving and clinging are one and the same mental state, lobha or attachment. Their degree of attachment is different. At the stage of craving, it is not so strong, but when it reaches the stage of clinging, it is so strong that it cannot let go. So the condition for strong attachment or craving or clinging is ordinary, not too strong attachment or craving. Why is there desire or why do you like an object? You like the object because you feel good about that object. There is a pleasant feeling in you with regard to that object. That is why you like that object. Sometimes the object is not beautiful and you don't like it. When you see an object and you don't like it, you have a longing for an object that you like. So you have a longing for a beautiful object. Even when you see an ugly object, there can be desire or craving, not for the ugly object, but for a beautiful object, you longing. So because there is the feeling, pleasant feeling or unpleasant feeling or even neutral feeling, there is this desire, the feeling in the mind, pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling or neutral feeling is the condition for craving, condition for desire. Vedana Vijaya Tanna. Why is there feeling? We feel good about something or we feel bad about something. What is the condition for that feeling? Because there is contact with the object. There is feeling. If there were no contact with the object, there would be no feeling. So feeling is conditioned by what is called contact. Phassa Vijaya Vedana. Contact is not just things meeting together, but something that arises as a result of the meeting together with something. For example, when we see something, there is something to be seen, and there are the eye sensitivity. When there's something to be seen, comes into the avenue of the eye sensitivity, there is seeing consciousness. When these three arise, the eye sensitivity, retina, the object, and the mind or consciousness, the see, there also arises what is called contact, a mental state, a joint, something like a joint. Meditator can be aware when you see something, when you hear something, there may appear contact, eye contact, ear contact, etc. Because of the joint, feeling follows and other mental states also follow. So the condition for feeling is contact with the object. Why does contact arise? Contact arises in the example of seeing because the eye sensitivity and visible object come together. So contact is conditioned by the eye sensitivity or the sense organ and the corresponding object. The sense organ and the corresponding object are called bases, salayatana, in the Paticcasamuppada. So there are 6 internal and 6 external bases. The eye sensitivity is called a base, the ear sensitivity is called a base, nose, tongue, body and mind are respectively called a base. Visible object, sound, smell, taste, tangible object and Dhamma object are called a base. When these bases come together, there is contact. So contact is conditioned by the bases or by the sense organ and their corresponding object. Now among these bases, some are material properties and some are mental states. So bodhisattvas investigated why there were bases. They found that because there are mental states and mental properties, namarupa, there are bases. Namarupa vijaya salayatana. So the mental states and material properties, namarupa, are the condition for bases. And what is the condition for the mental states and mental material properties to arise? Mental states or mental factors cannot arise if there is no consciousness. Only when there is consciousness, vijnana, only when consciousness arises, can they arise. Consciousness and some mental state arise at the same time, but consciousness is said to be chief or the leader, because if there is no consciousness, no mental state can arise together with that consciousness. Also at the moments of conception, some material properties arise. These material properties arise only when the consciousness arises. So the condition for mental states and material properties to arise is said to be vijnana consciousness. Here consciousness vijnana means both consciousness at the moments of conception and consciousness during life. And what is the condition for consciousness to arise? Now here consciousness means resultant consciousness. That means consciousness that is the result of something, that arises as the result of something. For example, when you see something you like, there is seeing consciousness. That seeing consciousness arises as the result of some wholesome karma in the past. When we see something we don't like, there is another type of seeing consciousness. That seeing consciousness is the result of some unwholesome karma in the past. At the moments of conception, the consciousness that arises is the direct result of our karma in the past. So when Bodhisattva investigated why there is consciousness, especially the resultant consciousness, and Bodhisattva found out that because there was wholesome karma or unwholesome karma in the past, consciousness arises. So the condition for consciousness to arise is karma. Here karma is called sankhara, karma formation. Sankhara pacaya vijnana. And why do wholesome and unwholesome karma arise? Because there is ignorance. Avijja pacaya sankhara. Because we are ignorant of the true nature of things, because we are ignorant of the impermanence, suffering and non-self nature, we tend to do good deeds or bad deeds or wholesome or unwholesome karma. Not understanding the true nature of things and not understanding the Four Noble Truths is a condition for good karma or bad karma to arise. So ignorance is said to be condition for wholesome or unwholesome karma. Avijja pacaya sankhara. This line of investigation ends with the discovery of ignorance, avijja. So if we follow this line of investigation, we are understanding the law of dependent origination backwards. But the usual formula given in the discourse is from beginning to the end. When we go from the beginning to the end of this formula, we begin with ignorance. Because there is ignorance as a condition, there are karmic formation or wholesome or unwholesome karma. Because there are wholesome or unwholesome karma as condition, there is consciousness and so on. So in this way, we can understand dependent origination in any direction. from the beginning to the end, or from the end to the beginning, or sometimes we may pick up something in the middle and then go forward or backwards. So we practice meditation, Satipatthana Vipassana meditation, is to cut the wheels of this cycle at some place. We are not letting this wheel go on and on and on when we practice Vipassana meditation. As you know, when you practice Vipassana, you can break the link between Vedana and Tanha, between feeling and craving. Although you have feeling, you will not have craving if you practice Vipassana meditation. If you practice mindfulness. So by the practice of Vipassana, meditator can cut the links in the law of dependent origination. You have a pleasant feeling. If you are not mindful, if you do not make notes of this feeling, pleasant feeling, then you will like it. So when you like it, you let this dependent origination, this wheels of life roll on and on and on. And if you have unpleasant feeling and you long for pleasant feeling again, you are letting this wheels of life go on and on and on. And you may have a neutral feeling. Neutral feeling is very good, so you will like it. When you like it again, you are letting the wheels of life go on and on and on. Now you practice meditation, and you make effort to be mindful whenever any feeling becomes prominent. When you do this, then you are cutting the wheel. If you are successful, totally successful with your practice, and if you reach arhatship, then you will be able to cut or you will be able to destroy this wheel of life altogether. So these factors of dependent origination are described as the mass of suffering, Kevalasa dukkha. This mass of suffering goes on and on and on so long as we cannot get rid of mental defilements altogether, so long as we cannot get rid of tanha altogether. If we want to get out of this wheels of life, if we want to break this wheels of life and get out of suffering, then we should do something to stop this wheel from rolling on, and that is the applications of mindfulness to the object at the present moment. Now you are developing your mindfulness, you are breaking down that wheel of samsara. When you practicing vipassana, you are trying to cut this wheel. So you are trying to stop this wheel from rolling on, at every moment of your good mindfulness, at every moment of your understanding the true nature of mind and matter process, you are going towards destroying this weed of life. So for that purpose, now you are here, you are practicing meditation continuously and diligently. We hope that one day you all will be able to achieve your goal and cut this weeds of existence or the rounds of suffering. So we have to stop our discourse for today. We will continue tomorrow by practicing vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses. May you understand the true nature of mind and matter. May you destroy the weeds of life. May you realize the real peace in the very near future.